Okay, I'm gonna make a motion, or I'm gonna call this meeting to order of the Marvin Day Planning Subcommittee on Tuesday, October 4th at 11:04 a.m. I have determined that we have a full quorum. We're all here, right?
Yeah.
We're not missing anybody? Perfect. And adoption of the agenda. Do we have any changes, additions, subtractions?
We'll probably do that.
Nope, okay. All right, so I need a motion to adopt the agenda as
I make a
presented.
motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Seconded.
We don't need seconds.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion passes. All right, next up, adoption of the previous minutes. I don't have minutes. Crap. Because they weren't in my agenda, because I didn't have them.
Yeah, I set that up wrong. Do you want to defer minutes till next meeting?
We'll defer
Okay.
we'll defer minutes to the next meeting. All right, next up, item B, items of discussion. Number 1, updates from working group. Update from Marvin Elementary working group. That's not us.
Yes.
No
update?
No passing.
No. All right. So, our working group is a little thin at this moment.
Do we need to recruit some people for you?
No.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
We have Jill, so we're fine. All right. Just looking at our to-do items. Okay, 5K and fun run. Nothing has been done there except the vendor who did the new owner of the company who did it last year is interested in providing a quote for this year.
Okay.
So Jill mentioned that we may have to put it out for bid. Were you thinking that?
Yes.
Because of the threshold?
Yes. We
So-
may have to get 2 more companies.
We may have to get
bid
2
on
more,
it
multiple quotes.
per our purchase policy.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, you can look at me like that all you want to. You can thank somebody else for that. That was somebody else that made us do that. Just saying.
The DJ rental is 99% locked in,
100.
100% locked in.
Contract
So-
signed, sealed, and delivered?
Yes.
Hot dog, good job.
I hope y'all are okay with what I'm paying him. Derek signed off on it, so I didn't feel the need to ask everybody, but it's all good. So he is going to be at the fun run in the morning and then move over to the park.
In
for
the afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. He's
Perfect.
going to stay right up until we're ready to cut him for the festivities
concert.
for the concert.
Awesome. Okay, love
And
it.
this is the same guy who did National Night Out.
He was amazing.
So he's
Yeah.
familiar with us
Good.
and
What's
good,
his name?
good
Yeah.
people.
Stephen Cook.
I was gonna say Dan. That was all right. Steven.
I also did submit the application and insurance form this morning to officially book Marvin Elementary School, all of it, for that
Yes.
date.
We don't have a conflict, thankfully, with the sports group that uses them. Excuse me. So, so we will hopefully have the whole facility,
Okay.
right?
We have the whole
We
facility.
have to, well, they have to approve it, but we're putting in the application for the whole facility.
Great.
Health fair should be pretty simple and straightforward. That it'll look a lot like last year. You know,
Outside or
we'll
inside?
welcome.
Out.
The goal will be to have it outside
Okay.
to create the block party. We'll utilize the inside as a backup
Okay.
if it's raining.
Got it.
Concessions, I've passed that off to Mayor Polino.
What's that?
He passed off concessions to Mayor Polino.
Yeah, we'll give him
Yeah.
a shot at it
Okay.
with some of his high school contacts.
Okay.
Bloodmobile.
Booked.
Booked. Good
Booked.
job.
See, I told you, we just show up and Jill
Wayne,
goes, done that.
Did Councilman Deathridge do it, or you just went ahead and did it?
Jill
I mean,
did it.
it's booked.
I mean, it was so.
Jill did it.
It was so
Jamie did it.
simple.
It's booked.
Okay.
Jamie did it?
Jamie did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What, say that again?
The Bloodmobile is booked
Okay.
for that date.
Yep. Portable bathrooms. I've got to work on that, and then the winter guard. Somebody
Mayor
help me.
Polino?
Joe.
Well, okay, so yes, I passed it off to Joe, Mayor Polino. His comments were not very positive.
Oh.
Really?
Can somebody remind me what that is supposed to look like at the school?
No.
What do you mean? They're just there to perform and just,
Get people livened up.
yeah.
So I will say, I'm gonna tell you in my report, the communication that I've had with the band people,
Mm-hmm.
which have been non-responsive. And I've requested information in there about winter guard. So I don't know if you just wanna
Okay.
Cross that one off.
I would just leave it on.
There's a
Let's
question
just leave it
mark.
on there. We're way
Yeah,
early.
yeah, yeah.
Let's leave it on there and let's.
His comment was, I will see about color guard. However, they are
Color guard.
pretty much done with all of their shows and will be out of practice. At least that's what the case was last year was. As far as volunteers, again, I will ask my group, but I am having problems getting volunteers just for the band at this point.
So somebody told me that winter guard and color guard are two different people.
I need somebody to define that for me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't either.
I don't either.
Do we?
Somebody said that winter guard
Would
was.
we think he would know that?
I would think
Are they part of the
so.
band?
I'll text him.
You would
Okay.
think so, but sometimes Joe says the things and then that, and then it's
Because
there.
I asked him
and I have to
about
interpret what he's
I
trying to
asked
say.
him about winter guard. He responded
With
with
color
color
guard.
guard. So I'm like, well, are they the same? I don't know.
I don't know.
The Winter Guard program utilizes dance, flag, rifle, and saber choreography set to music and performed indoors.
I like
I
sabers.
feel like the
Winter Guard takes place from the late fall to
So they probably do basketball and some of the other indoor stuff, whereas
through
color guard is
spring and is
football.
comprised of students from both Marvin Ridge Middle and High School. No prior experience necessary to participate. So Kim, you can suit up.
Oh, hot dog.
Yes. Do it.
Oh wait, I'm not in school though. Dang.
This program is performed at competitions in North and South Carolina as part of the Carolina Winter Ensemble Association. Also performs on a national level. Blah 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 blah. And a competition each April in Dayton, Ohio. So they shouldn't be too rusty
April,
by
they should be
June.
too April.
Yeah.
I mean April. Too rusty in June.
By the way,
Yeah.
it's 11/11. Make a wish.
Oh.
That's what the lady told me, is that they would just be finishing up with like nationals. It would be
Perfect.
great.
Yeah. So Winter Guard and rifles and sabers and
I like
They
rifles
sound
and
like
sabers.
two different people.
Saber like a giant knife.
Like, are we wanting them to
It's a sword.
perform? Or are we wanting them to hold the flag for the national anthem?
No, like perform.
Perform.
Like do a
Perform.
performance. Yeah, like take a break with.
So
oh,
how
here
do
they are performing with their like cool flags and
Yeah, like
fancy-
take a break within the DJ a couple of times in the morning and
Just something for the
do
kids
what
Yeah,
to
let
they
look
them
at.
take a
Yeah.
ski break. And,
Well, let me go ahead and ask you this question, because this was one of the questions that I was going to have for you guys in my group. My group wants to take the winter guard and put them before the concert.
Cool.
So, if you guys,
Can they do both? Can they?
Sure.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine giving them to
if we
you.
can't even get them to, if we
yeah.
can't even identify them in the first place, asking them to do two might be tricky. But
Especially because they're so far apart time-wise.
I guess, could y'all make a decision as to if you would prefer? We could ask for both.
I
you-
don't care to have them. I don't think I'm going to need them at the elementary school, quite
Okay.
frankly. If
I
you
don't
want to
s-
have them, but
I'm
I
with her.
don't.
I don't really see how they fit
Okay,
into a
then-
5K. So
Then
I'll take them.
Then
We have
no.
enough entertainment, I think.
You want them before the concert?
Yeah.
We're gonna have the DJ.
Yes, I'm the concert person.
Okay. Oh.
So,
Oh.
I'll take them.
so I guess we let the DJ go home a little early.
Wow.
And the
No, but I mean, the DJ could announce, hey,
yeah,
these
so
are
announce
yours.
them and then
Can I have
that's
them?
when
You can have them.
Take them. They're yours. I love it. I'm going to
Okay,
cross
mark it
this
off
right
then.
off.
Definitely.
Definitely
list.
cross
I
it
love
off
crossing
the list.
stuff off.
Okay, keep it simple, stupid. I mean,
Kiss.
okay, winter guard off. The elementary AM. I'm gonna need an updated one of these soon, Joe.
Have you seen mine? I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I know.
I
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
right?
I'm gonna need it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What else you got, Dirk?
I got some information on T-shirts.
Oh,
Somebody
hot dog t-shirts. Okay.
made me go get
Ooh,
information on
this
T-shirts.
is their, like, you're getting excited, aren't you? You guys get excited over t-shirts.
I love a good
All right.
I
t-shirt.
know you too. Austin, don't ask about
Yeah,
Drive
no,
It. We've
seriously,
heard.
enough.
You wanted a
French their
quote
word.
for
Stupid.
one half of the.
Gonna have to go out and get out. Sorry, hey, she adds 5K. She's the boss. I mean, sort of. They're gonna have to go out for bid because of the threshold. Okay, go t-shirts.
All right, Christina, you wanted a quote for half of the number that we got last year, right? Okay, with the Gildan soft style, it is roughly $2,200. So for an adult extra small to extra large is $8.50. 2XL is $11, 3XL is $12, plus a $150 screen fee. That's 3 different screens. That's one for staff, council, and general public. Staff being on red, council being on blue, general public being on a heathered gray. She did say there would probably be some additional charge for the the 25 tees with the different back design. But I did a 25. I'm not sure how many I multiplied as being 2XL and 3XL. But I came up with $2,212.50.
You said 3 back designs? Is that staff and council?
And then the general public.
Just nothing.
Shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Volunteer? Are we gonna have volunteer shirts or is that just staff?
I think it would be staff personally. I mean, because we used them for
We didn't really have,
Said event staff,
spouses,
I think is what you said.
siblings. We
Yeah.
could do event staff. And
Okay.
Kind of
Okay.
encompass everything.
okay.
So
Do
my question is, are you going to shop this out? Because no, we're just going to go with our people.
Per our purchasing policy,
Per the purchasing policy.
I understand the purchasing policy, but I'm going to bring up the same thing I've said before. I'm going to burn bridges with these vendors
What-
if I
so-
keep.
What heartburn do you guys have on the purchasing policy?
I don't have one. We just have a purchasing policy.
Oh, it's within the purchasing policy. All
I
right.
thought
think
it was
that-
over 15 now.
I think
We
we
changed
moved it up
Oh, okay.
to give her some
Yeah.
oversight rights.
I don't
or
have a
something.
problem with you proceeding with it.
Who's the vendor?
Signature Services, the people that
Oh,
do
okay.
all my
I have
embroidery.
been
They're
jumping up
local.
and down about fixing our purchasing policy.
Yeah.
The only other thing I
for
could think, sorry. I'm
a
sorry.
long time.
I think we
So
moved it to 5. Like she can sign off on up to
Okay.
5.
That's within our threshold. We're
okay.
good.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can think of though is the whatever 5K company we choose, it may be economical to have them do both like we did last time. That's the only thing I can think of because they're going to be doing the 5K shirts already.
What are they?
But
That's what I was gonna
in
say. Are they?
theory, hopefully that's going to be part of the bid. So I'm just throwing that out there in theory. If it is significant cost savings, then we may have to consider it. But I'm also fine with just using Signature for the event shirts and just using the 5K company for the 5K shirts.
How many 5K shirts did we have last year?
A couple hundred.
One
Just
for,
a couple
One
hundred.
for every runner, really, right?
So a couple hundred. I
With
don't.
some surplus for
One.
last minute registrations.
Probably 200.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's not going to change probably that quote by much.
probably not. Unless we have a bigger turnout this year.
No.
I mean, the screen, because we'll have to do a totally different screen, different.
This quote is only for 225 shirts. Because I was asked to reduce the number by half. So that's 25 red and blue shirts, and then 200 gray. That
We
might
can
be
play those
wrong.
numbers
It
around.
might need to be 50. 25 red, 25 blue, and then 175 gray.
Yeah.
So he's got a spreadsheet of what we did in terms of like staff. The staff numbers stay the same. It's just really reducing the amount that we had from
Well,
the
we really need to figure out like Kim gets a this size, Joe gets a this size because
We did
last
that.
year we had like a billion council shirts left that were like
Extra small.
3 extra large. Like
we didn't pay for those. That was a mistake on there. We
Oh,
have a
okay.
spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have that spreadsheet in front of you?
No. Oh, well, I can pull it up on mine.
It's
I got
fine.
it. I got
It's
it.
really hard for me to read, I'll be honest.
It's fine.
This?
Yeah, I couldn't follow it. I mean, I understand that like their names were in each tab, but it didn't give me totals
That's
at the
the
bottom. Like
And I
I
think
just
a couple council members ordered more than one shirt too.
And then from that, we generated a total list.
There's no way I got a medium.
who's taking shirts?
You are.
Again, who's taking shirts?
Shirts are on the committee.
On us?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the quote to work with. Jill's saying
When do
we
they
can definitely talk to the 5K company and see what.
when do
they
they
can
need
do.
an
I just
answer
wanna-
by? I mean, again, I know we're super early, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're okay with the price and we know the quality of their work and they're a current vendor, I'm fine with just letting them.
I'm fine
have
with
it.
letting them do it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to say, yeah, sign a contract with them and then come back and be like, oh, by the way, we need you to do the 5K shirts. I would like to know if we need to do the 5K shirts or not.
Yeah.
So let me pass that around. Just maybe this will help guide a couple of things. This is a spreadsheet that I've created for
I'm
this
trying.
group itself. It gives you tasks and deadlines and when I'm projected for you guys to have decisions made. On here, it does have t-shirt vendor quotes and selection of vendor to be made around November and December. So that gives us a little time to play with if we want to explore other options. But right now, you know, we're not going to submit the t-shirt order until we have the logos anyways.
Okay.
So we've got some time to play with, but we would like to kind of know where we're going with t-shirts. Sorry, I must not have printed enough.
It's all good.
By that time frame.
Okay, so how much is the 5K guy, Jill?
How much is he gonna cost, or how much for t-shirts?
No, how much is he gonna cost for the 5K?
We have no
I don't really know
idea.
yet. This is his first year. He bought the business from the last guy, so I don't think we can assume he'll charge the same. I can tell you we spent, what, $5 last year? Or
Ish.
$5-ish total with t-shirts.
That's what I'm saying. Find out how much he's gonna cost, and then maybe you don't have to go out and get more quotes.
Yeah, well, now that I know that she can
Yeah.
approve more, that's fine.
So let's find out how much, like, what he would charge us with t-shirts and then without t-shirts.
Yes.
And then we can make that decision at our next meeting. Do you think you could have that by,
Well, that's not, I don't think that's on me.
Oh,
Is
who's
that
that?
on
Who's the
me, or are you
5K guy?
taking 5K?
I have 5K right now.
okay,
So I just have on my notes,
sorry.
we've
Jill,
got
I
a bunch
thought
of
you-
stuff done already. Next up was start getting 5K quotes, porta potties, and start building the health fair.
Okay.
That was next.
So Derek, I would say if you can, find out what this guy's 5K quote will be, with t-shirts, without t-shirts, bring that back to us in November. At that point, we can say, okay, that sounds good, especially if it's under 5,000, and then we can make the t-shirt decision for both. And then we can have that checked off our list, and then we'll just wait on the logo. Good?
Because you're concerned that if the 5K people aren't including the t-shirts, that we want to add them to this quote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the Ninja?
Wait, are you gonna talk about this logo design while we're talking about the 5K?
I will go when he's done.
Okay. All right.
She's got strategery.
I think the Ninja would be separate from the 5K. So if you want to talk about the logo.
Okay. So I took the changes that we discussed at the last meeting, made them on here, put information about the resolution, how it should be submitted, and instead of it coming to my inbox, I have it going to events@marvinnc.gov. So if y'all are good with this, I'm ready to push this out, and see what we get. Thoughts, opinions? Do we hate it?
Do we need a date on there when we're going to pick it? Winner will be announced.
December.
Can we do it at the tree lighting
We did
ceremony?
choose a date. I had it, it's in the minutes, but we did pick a date. I want to say we said December.
It has to be December 6th, because we're gonna pick it at our thing, so all the
Yes,
submissions are due the
submissions were
5th.
due the 5th. We were going to pick it on the 6th at our
So
next
we'll,
meeting.
so we'll say, winner will be announced at the annual tree lighting. And subsequently on, social media. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Add that and I say go.
Okay. Thanks. No other comments, thoughts? We're good? Okay, moving on.
No, I think it looks good.
Okay.
Does it say if it has to have the owl or not?
Yes.
It
Yes.
does.
Animated illustration of an owl. I like it.
Hey, anything else for Marvin Elementary Working Group?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have the solution, so.
So Derek did get some quotes on that ninja course that I think we talked about at our last subcommittee meeting. He had warned y'all that it was pretty expensive, and it is. So my opinion on the subject with Derek was I just don't feel like we're at the elementary school for enough hours to really spread out that cost and make it worth it
Okay.
for that event. So as an alternative, I am looking at maybe just getting one of those standalone rock climbing things. They're a lot cheaper, drastically cheaper, like a fourth of the cost. So I have emailed the school and asked, I know inflatables are not allowed, but would this be allowed, especially if it would come with staff from the company to actually man it, And I did offer that we would add them to the certificate of insurance for that company. So I'm hoping they say yes, but they might not. If they say no, then we're just moving on.
Okay.
If they say no to that, they would have said no to the Ninja course anyway.
Right.
That may be against our insurance policy. Did you check that form that I gave you a few months back?
Even if we get added to their insurance, we still can't do it?
Well, they would say no altogether, and you could probably speak to more of this in your attorney language, but to cover our own butts, if our council wanted to just do it anyways, as long as we got additional insured from the company, the risk and the liability should be mitigated, but our insurance company would still say no. Do you have any?
Without seeing any of the policies in question, I have no idea.
There's some exclusions. I'll try to pull it up on my phone, but bouncy houses, for example, are completely excluded from our policy.
But yet we're doing them anyway.
Yes, taking the risk because we're an additional insured on their policy,
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
which should be fine.
I would say as long as you're, I mean, I don't want to speak too solidly without seeing any of the policies, but as long as you're included on somebody's policy with an indemnification clause, if something happens, that's the policy that kicks in.
Okay, so to answer that question, no, I have not checked to see if rock climbing apparatus are not allowed, but I will.
That seems to go over well. I mean, I've seen it at different places, and the kids do seem to like to do it, so.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fitness related, so it seemed kind of helpful.
Yeah, pretty much anything that gets them moving and exercising and having fun is gonna be a liability.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be a way to work it in.
Anything besides handing out treats and candy is a liability.
Honestly, that would be too. Get one kid choke on it.
That's great. Stop.
Okay.
Stop, lawyer.
All right.
I got Joe's response. You want me to tell you?
Sure.
Essentially, it's the same group, but they do lose some individuals and add some, including my daughter in the past. I will be reaching out to Emma, who is the director, to see if there's any way we can do something for Marvin Day. Okay.
Cool.
So,
A non-answer. Perfect. Okay. All right. What else for the elementary school?
That's all I got.
Dirk.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Moving
I
on.
got questions.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
she
Who
got
has questions? Christina, you have questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking at the stuff that I assigned in my task list. Home gardens, because that is also assigned to this.
No, it's not.
No, it's
It's
not.
in
The Eford
it's
Park AM working
AM.
group.
That's coming up next.
Well, I need to change that.
Yes, you do. Wrong.
Okay, Winter Guard, I talked about DJ. What about the wine and cheese? Is that,
That is the Marvin
that's
Eford
Marvin
AM
Park.
group too.
and
She just wants to control everything. So true.
okay, I'm good.
You good? You sure?
Yep,
Going
Any more
once.
questions?
I got Marvin Eford down.
Okay, all right.
Twice.
Okay,
Moving
can I take this
on
one?
to
It's up
letter
to you.
B,
Whatever.
update from Marvin Eford Park AM working group.
All right, Marvin Eford Park Working Group met, and we had a very productive work session. We went over roles and responsibilities, signed out a bunch of tasks. We actually got a couple things. Okay, one thing that the working group decided and needs to take to this committee, it's kind of funny.
We're all on that same
Yeah,
one.
we would really like for the events at Marvin Eford Park to start at 11 a.m., no earlier. So this is a change from last year where we started roughly the same time, 9 o'clock-ish, and we were happy.
I think that's a great idea, Jill.
Thanks, Kim.
concur.
Jen, what do you
Pretty
think
sure
about
it was
that?
your
I thought it was a great idea because if somebody wanted to try to attend everything, you cannot
Yes,
unless
so
they
really there's no
teleport or phone.
reason for anything to start much earlier at the park in that working group's opinion. And so the DJ is prepared to pack up at the elementary school and head over to the park and be set up by 11:30. We would have events if the subcommittee consensus agrees. We would have it start at 11 over there. And does anyone have an issue with that, first off?
No, I think it's a great idea. I don't know whose idea it was, but it's a fantastic idea.
That means it's Kim's idea.
I'm just curious, personally, I like it, but Derek, do you remember why we started so early last year? Was it to not compete with the car show? I can't remember.
No, I don't remember, to be honest. I
It
mean,
would-
it could have been just the schedule of events, or
The Raptor Center was like by like 10. They
Yeah,
wanted
that's
that
what it
done
was.
early. And then we wanted to give the artists an opportunity to get set up and start before the Raptor Center because we were going to kick everybody out of the
Bless you.
barn. And that's
yeah, we had
what it
some
was.
tours to start early and kind of
Yeah.
broke it up and just kind of spread
That's
it
what
out.
it was.
I love that.
Okay, are we all good with 11?
Good.
Idea. That's
Going once, going twice. Okay,
Good
Marvin
time
from Park
for
starts at
setup.
11.
I think also because we're going to be at the park all day and it's not ending at 2 or 3 like it did last year, it's fine to shift the window a little bit.
I agree.
No breakdown time.
Both dog rescues have been booked. 3 food trucks have been booked so far.
Can you
2
give us
more.
what those are?
Yes, one is the Carolina Funnel Cakes, who was at National Night Out. The
They did a
other
great job.
is International Truck of Tacos. That's one of my girls. She's my neighbor.
I need tacos.
Her food is so ridiculous. The other one is called Thrasher Dogs. I found them at Ortho Carolina when I was there for a CSA game. They do hot dogs, chili dogs, nachos, like all of that type of stuff. They were
Smells
super
tasty.
stoked. Probably. The only thing is I have to make sure that these people are licensed to sell food in North Carolina because if the county finds out that they're not, I get in trouble. I got my hand slapped last year. That was not my fault. I just picked up someone else's mess, but now I've learned. So I will double check. So I might come back and revise a couple things if some of these folks are not licensed, but I did talk to the owner of Hungry Howie's Pizza. And he wants to be at Marvin Day. What I like about him is he sells pizza by the slice, so you're not required to order a whole pie. You just want a $5 slice, something cheap and easy. You can go, and it should be fast because slices are easy.
Question: is that a corporate owner or is that a specific location owner? How do they
Oh, that's a
work?
good question. I don't know. He's probably a franchise owner, but he's got the truck and it's all decked out.
What's his name?
It's on my, it's on my phone, Derek.
Hey.
And so then Andy wants me to reach out to Blue Lagoon Cafe. They're basically burgers and smoked meats, so they're
They're
on
the
my
ones
list to talk
who
to
are
today.
behind Stewart's.
He kept mentioning the tap house.
Yes, the tap house. That's Stewart's Gifts sold there, or at least to
All
the
right,
tap
Hungry
house. And
Howie's.
that's the one behind it.
So we're still looking at that lobster food truck, right?
Yes. Shoot, it doesn't have his name on here.
What's the location?
Pineville Matthews Road, 8334 Pineville Matthews Road, Charlotte. Do you know a Hungry Howie's owner or?
I know two.
Okay.
No, pretty sure one of them is that guy.
I feel like his name was like Nathan or something. His dad was like in the truck and he was like, my son owns the truck. I go around the truck, the guy's sitting in a camping chair watching football. I'm like, you got your dad working while you're watching football over here? It's kind of funny.
Of course she did.
Anyway, so that's food trucks. We're making progress.
Good job.
Okay,
You know, go and talk about opening night.
Can I ask a question?
yes, you can.
Are you gonna start working on getting contracts and all that stuff on those?
That's a great question. So I have asked my boss, who is going to be responsible for managing all contracts, all W-9s, all certificate of insurance forms. I'm not sure that I have an answer to that question, but I don't know if that's going to be a group effort or if I will do it, but I do think someone needs to own that and manage it, and I don't want it to be me, but we've also already given her sponsorship, so we can probably talk
we'll
about
talk.
that.
I'll put a note.
Let's see, DJ is booked, Bounce House is booked,
Do you have contracts for those?
not yet,
Okay.
just deposits and in process, they're sending over
I would say
contracts and-
somebody needs to deal with all contracts. There needs to be
So-
one point of contact to deal with all contracts.
Well, so yeah, I agree. Question though, like when you book it, do they not make you sign a contract?
Mm-mm.
They just make you pay a deposit.
Mhm.
So it's just a date
Refundable,
reserv-
it's just
date
to reserve the
reservation
date,
fee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when we sign the contract, that's when I usually ask for their COI.
Okay. Can you say again what you've made a deposit on? So I'll write down.
I actually haven't made the deposit on the bounce house yet. That was my plan today. The only deposit I have made is actually not even for Marvin Day. It's for trick or treat. So
But you're going to for the DJ?
no, for the bounce house.
Okay, I thought you said DJ.
Does the
sorry.
DJ need a deposit?
No,
You don't need a deposit?
no.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No, sorry.
Okay.
You gonna go and jump on opening night?
No,
No.
she's going down.
Oh, okay.
AM. Oh, she's going down the list.
Okay, so we are looking at fun things for the kids to do. That's been assigned to Kim primarily. Face painters,
Jen
balloon
and
animals,
Andy.
arts,
Jen and
crafts.
Andy.
Jen
No,
and Andy.
well, sort of. All of us. You were going to do.
Oh yeah,
face
I've got
painters,
face painting balloon animals.
And
Kim also asked me to research a dunk tank for
yes,
they
Joe.
know. I will tell you, I found one company in Charlotte that looks like it can be a one-stop shop for us. They absolutely have every single thing we need. They have face painters. They have
Give me
balloon
them.
animals.
Give me them. I'll call them.
They have everything. I did discover Jumpin' Jacks Charlotte events. I did discover that there was some crossover. The PM group was starting to
I
encroach
think it's her insurance.
onto our AM group a little bit. So
what were they doing?
they were arranging food trucks. They were looking for face painters. They were looking for all kinds of
What?
stuff. I think,
Oh,
see
because
this
they have
pre-concert fun zone,
zones.
but that's really like 5 o'clock, and
Yeah.
face painters and fun stuff
For
for
the
children is
afternoon.
all day long. So we had a conversation where we have
drawn a line in the
tweaked
sand.
that a little
These
bit.
Damn PM groupers.
So,
Because food trucks was definitely listed up under AM, as was the kids fun zone. So because face painters is mostly for kids, we just sort of had a quick convo where we realized we were doing double work, and some things needed to shift back to AM that were on PM.
Oh, that's gonna be so
And
cute. Okay, wait.
It was
what
nobody had gotten
company
too
is
far
it?
in the process. It happened like the day after you guys met.
oh, okay.
So just so you know,
What's
Well,
the,
I
so-
asked them to report back to you, but apparently they did
what's
not.
the company?
No, and I
Jumping
was
jacks.
halfway listening when you were saying that because I was taking notes on something else, so I
No
might
worries.
have some conversation with you after
Like
that.
Yeah.
this? Like this?
Yes, Jumpin' Jacks events in Charlotte.
Okay. Okay, I'm
Um,
gonna come back with some stuff for our next.
Perfect.
Not this meeting.
Have you ever looked at this site?
We'll figure it out.
The lower. What are we can't call it a
PM.
working group.
AM
Is that
group.
what we're calling it?
No, we're a committee. We're a
committee.
subcommittee. They're
We're
the working
working
group.
group.
So I'll bring this back to our
So-
working group.
Petting zoo.
Why are we a subcommittee?
Because we have to vote on it.
Face
What are we a
painters.
sub
She's
of?
with us.
But that probably wouldn't be
You can
like
still
one
vote.
place
We're
we're
sub
providing
vote.
all.
We are a subcommittee, so
This
that
is
not
stress-
every
this is
staff
stressful.
member
We have
and
our own
every
method.
council member has to
This is
be
stressful
involved
to
in
you?
Marvin
Oh,
Day.
God.
Okay, so
yes.
it's sub to council. and
Yes.
staff.
I want to see y'all's methods.
What?
We're doing our methods right
Let me
now.
see yours.
No,
No.
you're judgy eyes. I'm not showing you nothing. I did follow up with Seth from Union County about disc golf to see if he is still available. I told him Derek may have already reached out to him, but followed up with him again this morning. And I did also talk to,
What did he
she's
say?
leaving because he hasn't answered yet. At our working group, we talked about having characters
Yes.
available. So I did find out that Minnie and Mickey are available for Marvin Day. She's working up a quote for me. But they can only come for like 2 hours, and they need to be someplace where they can be cool because those costumes are super hot.
Put it in the
So
barn.
In the
I
barn.
told her we had the barn, but we also she didn't have to be a building. She was like, as long as it's like in someplace with cover. So I told her between the picnic shelter or the barn or with plenty of tents, we can set up a little meet and greet with them if people wanted a photo op. But she's also going to quote out maybe having like a princess or two or a Spider-Man or somebody walking around the park that day, just kind of mingling with kids and giving out high fives. So gathering quotes, we'll make a decision at a future meeting about that. I'm pretty sure that was kind of it for the park, except for animals.
Okay.
Andy, Councilman Andy, is in charge of finding animal
I have a
exhibits,
comment.
except for Kim, who was doing the Raptor Center.
Okay.
I have a comment on that.
On animals?
Our new PRG member, Jennifer Barbara,
Yes,
says that she has a lot of animal type connections,
yes.
and she could be utilized if you want her to shift over. Her connections are the Raptor Center, the waterfowl, 3 different snake and reptile people. Her only caveat was that if she was to make a connection and reserve them, that she would probably have to volunteer for them. I said I didn't think that would be a problem, but I would let you reach out to her for that connection.
Austin, you said you were going to reach out to her about that, right?
Yeah, talk to her.
Yeah, you talked to her. The Raptor Center's out. They have declined because they have their annual charity gala that night, that whole day. So everybody's going to be all hands on deck. So you can go ahead and take Raptor Center off. They're out.
And we did tell Andy that Jennifer would help him with those animals, so I think he was waiting until after today where she was sort of
Yeah, and
made
Andy
official.
was also going to look at the craft from Lowe's and find out if they could do some
So
donations.
is she joining our working group or?
No, she's joining the...
She's assigned to my working group, but I'm okay if she fits better helping with the animals. If you guys can have her, I think.
I thought you said you guys were light.
We are, but we also, I feel like we
We could
have
switch her with
some
Andy.
simpler tasks, and
Okay.
a lot of our stuff
I
is
don't know, just something
repeat.
to look
Okay,
at if
so you don't
other
need
stuff
as
falls
much.
through.
For sure.
I don't feel like it.
Okay, all right. Well,
There's
then let's
reviews
on
just
our
move
list.
Jennifer to our
Thank
list
you.
and add her to our stuff.
Okay, you deal with that.
All right,
Okay.
the other thing, really, I think that's really it, kind of
We're
for,
skipping all my stuff. Okay.
well, what's that?
Work on securing
She's now
Firethorn's
more-
involvement.
she's now-
So,
That was the next thing,
oh, okay.
because that's not the park, that's Firethorn.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, regarding the park, so Christina was in our working group,
Oh, yeah.
and I just confirmed with her that, she's still cool doing the cottage garden tours and the nature trail tours. She really enjoyed that last year, so she's totally down to do that again. And we also talked about getting her to connect with some of the master gardeners to do workshops on site. At like the cottage garden. Yes.
No, at the community gardens, at the
Or the
community.
Yeah,
garden,
somewhere there. Anyway.
Aren't they all the same?
No.
It'll be nature, it'll be there, and there'll be somebody talking. So, yeah, she's working on that.
Aren't all gardens the same?
Perfect. She was also gonna see,
You know, I just say that stuff to get you guys all like riled up, right?
she was gonna
I
get
didn't
some
even know
marsh
we had a
people
park.
involved as well.
Me? What's in the middle of the meeting?
Okay, why don't you talk about the,
Okay, I'll talk about
Firethorn.
Firethorn. Okay,
Yeah.
so I sat down and had a meeting with Firethorn last week. They are all in still. They are gonna have a full-on open house advertising Firethorn that day. They're gonna go from 9 to 3. They're gonna have a DJ, cornhole, giant Jenga. They're gonna get tennis, golf, swim involved. They're gonna have like a putting contest, food trucks. They're gonna have a mimosa, Bloody Mary bars.
Can I go to Firethorn?
I'm in
I'm in the artist group. I will be a Firethorn.
I want a
asked-
mimosa.
If we could each just get an hour.
I asked her to go ahead and they're looking at you. They're
I was
talking
making
to you.
sure I didn't have peanuts in my mouth.
My teeth.
We're not on camera in this meeting.
They are, they're gonna get me promo materials as soon as they get it together with kind of their list of events. They would also like ours as soon as we kind of have our schedule lined up. They have already agreed to be a sponsor. I think they've already sent in information. They also agreed to have the artists do an art expo there. We just need to know how many, and they were like, do you want it inside, upstairs, outside, like kind of on the walkway, like kind of where do we want it? So I think that's really going to depend on how many we have. They are full in, all on board, ready to like,
Sweet.
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Do you see this conflicting with the?
My son and I are running a putting contest for a charity that's having a golf tournament at Firethorn. Do they need help running the putting contest?
Probably, but they seem they are truly treating this as an open house to advertise for new members, like the community, you know, like even existing members who don't know that they have like all this stuff. Do I think it's going to conflict some? I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's going to be that much, Derek. I think if people want to go to the park, I think if people are like, I don't care about Firethorn, I'm not interested in Firethorn, I'm not going to join Firethorn, they're not going to go there. So, and they're doing it early, so I feel like maybe if people want to go to Firethorn early, then they can move over to the park and continue on with things.
Also, Firethorn isn't going to be catering kids quite as much.
I mean,
I
they're
don't
gonna
think
have.
so. They're not gonna face painting and balloon
No.
animals and bounce
Older
houses.
kids,
No.
it sounds like.
Yeah,
It's
probably
gonna be
older kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the giant Jenga, the cornhole, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That and some adults
They
who have
may,
tomato
and I
mimosas
can
in them.
ask, but I know that they're planning on having like their full staff is going to be on board, and then they want to set up a table, obviously at the park because they're a sponsor. So later on, they'll have somebody at the park manning a table. So, but they are fully immersed, super excited.
And how many art
I don't know. We're
people
working.
did you have last year? And was it
Um,
here? Was it?
No,
It
we
was
actually we
over,
had it at the
so-
park.
Last year was
Um,
completely different.
yeah,
so
than
we
what we're
really
trying to
only
do.
had. So last year the art thing was the artists got to decide whether to host a thing at their houses
Oh, okay.
because there was also the garden tour, so it was an art and garden tour, and then some artists opted to be at the barn. So I think were there only two or three at the barn? Two or three?
2 at the barn, 2 potters.
Two potters at the barn, and they were doing things with interactive with the kids to like make stuff, I guess. Which I wasn't there, but I hear it created an enormous mess.
Yes.
So I would totally be down for them to do a demonstration, just not letting the kids get hurt in the bathrooms. So we had them split, and then as far as the art tours where people would go to their homes, there were only 3 or 4 of us. And that did not work out so well because most people were a little sketchy about going to someone's home.
Yeah.
I mean, I had mine on my porch, so it wasn't like you were in my home, but still just walking up someone's driveway.
Yeah.
People were hesitant and whatever. And then also following the map was far more of a challenge than people were really down for. So that, and we had so many simultaneous events last year that
It was overwhelming for
it
people.
was,
Yeah.
you couldn't have looked at the list of things and been like you really had to be like, oh, I want to go to the car show.
I had multiple people come to me and say, I have time for one of these. Which one do I go to?
Right.
Yeah.
And if they even decided to go
Exactly.
off, like once you were at the park, you were going to do the park stuff, and that was it. This year's completely different because everything is at the park, and there's no if there's a car show, it's totally separate.
Me too, opening night.
Having them all concentrated at Firethorn is awesome. I don't know how many we'll be able to get, but
I feel like you
a
need
lot more
than
given
2
that
or
it's not a
3 if
house.
you're gonna have it Firethorn, because you have some.
well, I'm hoping to get maybe like 10.
I'd say 10 to 20.
I'm hoping for 10
10
to
to
20. So my kids' school gets a draw of about 1,500 to 2,000 people, and they do 20 tents. Or they have 20 spaces for sale. Now, they were charging $200 a booth, and even I was like, no.
That's too much.
And I waited for it, and now they're down to 100, and they've got
What did we decide on?
11 to 12. I think we were talking like 20 to 50.
Yeah.
What did we
I
decide
think
on?
20 was what we were talking.
Artists?
Yeah,
No,
for the booth fee for an artist.
booth fee.
So the artists have to pay a fee then
Yeah.
to participate?
Yeah.
And
we
Because
decide
it's a
on
sales
total?
opportunity.
50.
50.
$50?
50 seems reasonable for
50
all
does
day
seem
long.
reasonable.
It's consistent with our other fee.
Okay, so 50.
I'll put some
Is that fee in the
I'll-
fee schedule? Because it might need to be.
So I'm thinking we should be able to get 10
It's
to
in the
20
booth fee
for an
spaces,
event.
especially with
It's
the
in the-
booth fee at
it probably
50
should be in
because
the fee
that's
schedule.
not an
I mean, that's gonna
exorbitant
change
booth
with
fee.
events.
And at a place like Firethorn where they're
need
expecting
the
a lot
fee
of
schedule.
traffic, if we have an idea of how
We
many
shouldn't.
people they had at Firethorn last year, I know they ran out of food. If we could give sort of an estimate, it helps to bring the artists in to say, hey, you have an audience of 1,500 or
I mean, I
I'd
thought
say we had
5,000.
over 1,000 people attend Marvin Day and leave it at that.
okay.
And
Yeah,
if they
because-
have it, then if they get that many, then great. If they don't, then we're
I also
trying.
think Firethorn this year is going to be a completely different beast.
It's
Last
gonna
year
be
it was a membership drive.
totally
It was
different.
mimosas and breakfast. This year it's
And-
going to be all day long.
and
of
not
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
clubhouse
it-
because it was member guest. So it was so scaled down last year.
All right, so over 1,000 attended Marvin Day. That's at least a place to start without over promising.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be much bigger at Firethorn
Yep.
and whatever. So that helps people feel better about paying that booth fee to say, hey, I'm likely to make that back and some.
Yeah.
So.
So Firethorn all in, they're super excited. I can, if you guys have more questions, like they're super responsive, I can set up a meeting. But for right now, I'm just gonna kind of let that ride until we have some promotional stuff. I'm probably, if we approve this, then I'll probably send this to them so that they can start marketing that they're gonna be there. Like we need to have
I need the list of things that Firethorn is gonna have
Oh.
that day.
DJ Cornhole, Giant Jenga, food trucks, Bloody Mary, mimosa bars. They're going to have a putting contest.
Start writing.
And
Take
they're
a picture
going
of the
to
page,
have
Jill.
there are tennis, golf, and swim there advertising.
Yeah, like the.
It's going to be a full-on true open house for them.
Have you gotten to this yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
So you were saying you were going to reach out to some people. Do you have some connections in the
no,
art business
No,
or anything?
but like, I think if you want like 10 or 20, I think it should probably be upstairs. Like,
It's-
Well, that was going to be my question. So you sound like I've been on Firethorn. I've been there. My kids went to Cotillion there, and that is the full extent of what I've seen. Is the lobby of the.
We can
The main building?
we can meet
So
over
I
there
have
and walk through it.
No idea what the options are.
Once we have a better idea of how many people we have, we can go meet over there, walk around, figure out the best place, and then and they're fine. I mean, they're really like we're super excited. Like
Okay.
yeah,
really
like
excited.
I
about it.
by no means am artsy, but I mean I can put some feelers out and see if I can find some good.
I know of,
contacts
and then
to look
I don't.
into.
Yeah.
What comes to mind immediately is my friend Alyssa. She has a company. It's called A-List Handmade, and she makes jewelry and sells it.
Oh, that's
I
perfect.
feel like she could have a booth and have
Absolutely.
kids making bracelets and necklaces.
I love
and,
that.
Like that would be
I
one
love
booth.
that. I think that's awesome.
Somebody else is, their paintings are displayed. You know what? Firethorn did something like that a couple of years ago. Where
Well,
they
they
had
have-
the artwork out.
And they're also doing their what are they? It's like a holiday bazaar, but they're calling it something else in November, where they're
Yeah, I
having
saw
their booth
that.
come out. So there may be some artists or people that have crafts and
Signed up for
wares.
that.
So I'll
Who's
be at
looking
that,
at
so
it?
I can look at that list.
Yeah. And so another thing is that artists who are used to doing the booth kind of thing are used to being outside because then you have your tent and you have your display. Like I was asking, because we haven't talked
Yeah.
about the displaying here
Yep.
beforehand on Friday night, is that it might be easier, sort of, to be outside if they have their booth configuration all ready to go, because then they know how to do it. When you move inside, you now no longer have the booth to support. So unless you have freestanding walls to
So I
create a
would-
booth out of.
So as we're doing it, let's just talk to the artist and find out, do you prefer to be inside? Do you prefer to be outside? Do you prefer to be covered or uncovered if you're outside? And we'll get all those particulars, and then we may have some people inside, we may have some people outside.
Yeah, we can split and maybe give them option.
Yep.
Okay.
Who is that? Who are you talking to there? Is that Brittany Abshire?
No,
She's still
no, yes, she is, but it's
Okay.
Jill McCarthy.
there? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know Brittany does events at both Piper Glen and
Yeah,
Firethorn.
Brittany's still there, but she's not handling this, it's
Just
Jill.
wondering, like, who maybe did art displays at
I can talk to Jill about
Piper
it.
Glen, too.
Yeah,
you
I can
know.
talk to Jill, and talk to Bethany.
Okay.
As long as that's still your favorite. You are my favorite, Jill. Can I go back to the park
She's
really
actually a
quick?
Jillian.
Sure.
Can I go back to the park? Have we secured parking?
Oh, that was next on my list.
Okay. Because you were going to talk to the people that have the field. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like.
That's, I think, the biggest thing
I
that
do
we have
too.
to figure out with the park is
I do too.
we have to lock in some parking.
Yes.
And,
Because that's going to be a lot
Shuttles.
easier for people to do that than it is for them to park at Publix or the high school and get shuttled, or the elementary school and get shuttled. So I would say let's try to get that, like, for next meeting. Let's try to have an answer for that. Okay, that's it for the park.
All right, so that's for the park, art at Firethorn.
And then
that's
now we're
everything
to
for
Friday
Firethorn,
night.
and
Yeah,
now we're
let me-
Friday night.
Yeah,
Let me jump in at opening night. So we want to condense the number of sites.
Derek.
We want to condense the number of sites and hopefully give the artists a better turnout by moving the artists into the village hall, meet and greet. So they'd be set up here. The council would be here. We've already got
We're
the
gonna have wine here.
we've got wine. We'll be able to get more. Jill's already secured the charcuterie board.
Secured the charcuterie board.
Charcuterie boards. We're gonna still plan for the private garden tours, but we're gonna gauge interest from the gardeners first to see if they even still want to do it.
that's on my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
answer your
they didn't have
question.
good turnout last year.
So Jen and I were talking about how are we going to display the artist in Village Hall. So we were talking about easels, tables, chairs, but then you know how like when you're in a mall and they've got these artists set up, they've got these stands that they can like hook their
Kiosks.
No, it's like they're like
Panels.
metal stands.
You can either use the metal, so there are metal, so like when artists travel with these booths,
Yeah.
right, and you set up your booths, the one that most artists like the best are called flourish panels, and I have not priced this out, but they can be hung independently of a tent, right, like they have their own frame, and they're a mesh panel that you can hang anything.
Multiple things
Yeah, you
off
can hang
of.
all kinds of stuff on it. And that's what artists prefer, but then there are other options, especially if you don't have to carry them anywhere, where there are metal panels, like metal grid, that have a
That's what I'm
stand on
thinking
the bottom, and then you just use S-hooks to hold stuff. Those are crazy heavy, so most artists don't use them if they're like traveling, but if it's in a closet and, you know, you're moving them. Yes, Jill.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I'm following this conversation a little bit better than I think I am. I'm under the impression that other than opening the doors and maybe assigning you a place, that I don't have to really provide anything for the artists in the way of easels or stands or anything, that they will have the ability to put their stuff on display with what they already own. True or false?
Maybe, if I may equivocate.
Okay.
So it depends on what parameters you set for them exhibiting here. If that's the parameter that you want to set, absolutely.
Okay.
But one of the things that I was looking at is that, you know, when you have a bunch of paintings, how do you want them displayed? Are they bringing a whole bunch of easels? Are they bringing a table and putting their own table in here? If they're a 3D artist, you know, it needs to be set on something. And so do you want people bringing stuff in to do that? Because obviously we don't want to hang anybody like trying to hang stuff on walls. So if you want to set those parameters, that you're welcome to have this spot, come take out your spot and you figure out how you want to display it. That's cool. Kim and I just really quickly at the end of the last meeting when I was asking this question, we were talking about whether or not Village Hall had stuff already that could be sort of put to use, or if for future use, say for example, if you're looking at public comment on a master plan or something like that, did Village Hall want to invest more long term in having a display panel option collection on site?
Gotcha.
Especially if this turns out to be a success and you want to do it going forward. We could initially just say, you do your own thing, see how successful it is.
I personally lean towards that direction from a budget standpoint. I don't really want to buy a bunch of things that we may or may not use again or might use just once a year. Not that I'm not like appreciative of the artists coming and displaying, but I feel like between this room with table space, the front conference room, the lobby, the back lobby, the community room will have tables. And I'm also not even opposed, I mean, Derek may disagree, but I'm also not opposed with like, if someone needs to pop something off the wall and hang their own painting there with a price tag on it, I'm okay with that too, as long as we like put it back at, you know, at the end of the Marvin Day event. I would like to utilize what we have.
This was like a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah, this was
like
us firing stuff back and
we
forth.
need
at the end of the
to
thing.
talk about this in our meeting. So
Exactly, which is what I'm doing. That's
Yep.
just my, that's my
I don't
opinion.
disagree with that. I think because we haven't had it here yet before, let's see how successful it is, and then as we move forward, we may decide that we want some extra stuff as we get more permanent stuff on the wall.
Yeah, I just woke up this morning when I was thinking about this meeting going, okay, that's cool. I bring a few special things to say, hey, come check out my booth tomorrow.
Yeah.
And because obviously you're not going to bring your whole collection, right? You're going to pick a few, lovely items. And then I thought, how am I going to display this? Now, if you're only displaying a couple, you get a couple display
But I do
easels.
like the idea of whoever the artists are and whoever's coming on Friday, have them come in here well
in
beforehand
advance and make a plan.
and be like, this is the space that I would like, or have a meeting. Everybody show up at this time, because it's not like, we want Deb to come in like today and then I get to come in tomorrow. And I'm like, well, that's the space I wanted.
Right.
Like have them all come in and meet and walk around and look and pick their space.
So I think, I'm not on this group, but from a facility logistics, like
Yes.
this could be really cool, right? She has a master plan of the whole building and what each space could do. Have them come in, pick out. You could utilize the front porch, the back porch.
Yeah.
People can set up pottery, heavier items. Like
A wheel.
not the wheel, the art. you know, have it all throughout, and you get your line, and you walk around the building, and you're
That sounds-
interacting with politicians around each corner, and
Politicians around the
So,
corner.
I'm gonna throw this out. You're an artist, you know what people need and don't need. Why don't we allow you to create this master plan and have you be the liaison
Yeah.
for, like, if I'm a potter and I wanna set up stuff, I'm gonna come to you and tell you what space I want. Then you're kind of like the go-to person for that day.
For art,
Yeah.
Yeah, for art.
because you're running point on everything else.
Yeah,
which is
so me and Jay can work on it.
perfect.
Okay.
I'll be in charge of the politicians.
Friday night seems easy. It's like he
That
said,
sounds about
charcuterie is
right.
booked. Art, you're working on. Gardeners,
Oh, the
I'm
lawn.
reaching out to, and I believe every council member's already been told to be here Friday. Put it on their calendar, right?
I don't
Do y'all
know
wanna-
I
that.
haven't sent it out yet. It's
I
on
was
my
gonna
list.
say, I don't know that.
expand it to 5 to 8 to make it worth their time. 6 to 8 seems awful quick.
Maybe talk about it. I mean, I'm just kidding. Strike that.
Whose time? The artists?
Yeah. Artists, what's your thought?
Well, we were talking about if it's dark, if it's too
Yeah, I was
early,
gonna say, if you-
setting up.
Doing it on a Friday evening, anybody who goes out, anybody who's on the outside, and I'll have to look up sunset in June.
It's gonna be
I mean,
late.
obviously it's
June.
later than.
That's like the longest days of
Yeah,
the
but you see, you're getting close
Yeah, it goes
to
at
the
like
June
9.
21st, which is the longest. So
Mhm.
we could go fairly late and still have things visible outside for anybody who chooses porches or the perimeter.
Even 8
you wanna do
evening.
I see
5 to
nothing
8,
wrong with
but-
starting at 5.
The only thing I have is the artists, if they're showing
Set
at
up early.
Firethorn the next day, they're gonna be coming here, setting up, hanging out, and then they're gonna have to break that
They're gonna
down
have to
and
move,
take that stuff
yeah.
back, because in the early the next morning, they gotta go set it up somewhere
5
else.
to 7 instead of 6 to 8. You didn't like the 5 to 8 because you think it's gonna be too long.
No, the only reason I don't like it is because you're asking people to get off work at 4 o'clock to come set up for art that
That
may.
gonna work.
Well,
Well,
some
not
have to
Not
interrupt,
everybody,
but-
Derek.
So
But then if you do an art reception, it's typically prime time. I mean, if you go to an art reception, it's often 6 to 8.
So we should leave at 6 to 8,
We
you
can
think?
leave it 6 to 8.
Okay.
My sort of just, it was just my brain thinking about, because like right now when I teach outdoor art classes, and we've had to keep moving them earlier and earlier, obviously, and my brain was failing to
Comprehend.
contemplate that this is 8 months from now, and it will be lighter out late.
All right, I think we're running over. The last thing we had was the car show that I wanted to ask
We've got
about.
the PM Park Working Group. We haven't even gotten to that, sister.
That's right.
All right, so for artists and the meet and greet here, it's 6 to 8, pending any vehement feedback from artists.
Yeah.
That might want to do that.
Yep. I think
Or
we're
some
done
might
with.
just wanna do Saturday, right? Like, I guess we'll just have to
Some
work with
might.
them.
Well,
Or, I mean-
they'll do Firethorn on Saturday, but this was just an opportunity to put a few things up and sort of
Okay.
plug that, hey, come see the rest of my stuff tomorrow.
You literally
That's
did not
a good
print
idea.
enough. You printed 3.
Y'all can share. It's not really work. I mean, y'all don't really need it.
I like less paper.
Are you good on?
Are
your
you guys? Are we done with the AM Park?
Well, we're
I
done
think
with
I'm
Friday
good,
night?
yeah.
Done with Friday
That's it,
night?
that's all we
Okay.
got.
All right. Moving on to C. Update from Marvin River Park PM Working Group.
Okay, mine's gonna be real simple. Yeah, I passed y'all out all of my updates so y'all can read it as we're going through.
This is
Uh,
all yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Car show. Apparently, there's no lead on the car show, according to the band director. So I don't know if that's going to be a go or a no-go. Regardless, we're out of that as far as being part of the planning. I've sent them a really long email about our involvement. Very nice. Told them that we'd be willing to help them out in terms of the food. I did give them a deadline of December 31st if they wanted us to help with that, just from an educational standpoint, not any type of financial commitment. I sent you that.
When you say educational, do you mean advertising?
Promoting, yeah.
No, from letting them know, like,
10-3, 10-3, 10-3.
Oh, and
Did
how
they
we can
respond
help
to this
them.
email at all?
Help them
they
plan
just
for it,
did,
okay.
like, literally while we've been sitting here.
Oh, okay.
But it was very short. So basically, as I told you all the last time, that they're request was for us to prepay for the food and or help them to secure the food trucks. I nicely told them, sorry, but we can't do that. We'll help you through the process and educate you on how to do it, what permits are needed, and that sort of thing. But aside from that, that's really all we wanted to be involved with, unfortunately. Also let them know that we had a hard time with volunteerism for our event, so we didn't feel comfortable donating volunteers for their events. Let them know that facility rental and law enforcement, I did reach out to the high school to confirm that they still would be able to use the high school property for the car show, and they would have to submit the application. We would not do that since we were not going to use that facility space. I did let them know that we would be happy to coordinate the law enforcement with them if needed, but we would need to know specifics by December 31st. I also let them know we would be more than glad to promote their event in the mediums that we're using. We'll need links and information by the end of the year on that. And then I also let them know that we had an interest in displaying arts at their car show. But again, the car show is kind of up in the air, so I think that's probably a no-go. We're just planning on what you guys were doing. I also talked about Winter Guard and that we would be interested in having them either at the AM or the before the school event. I did get an email back from them while we've been sitting here, and it just says, sorry, not able to attend today. Thank you for your notes. Few updates that we are currently have no lead for the car show. As for the performance, we may be able to have a small group band, but they will not be able to perform.
So what's the point of it? Okay.
As for the performance to open, we may be able to have a small band group, but the guard will not be able to perform.
Oh, okay, well then just scrap it.
Their board meeting is next week. If there are more items to follow up, she'll let me know. And that was it.
So I mean, they don't have, there's nobody running the car show?
None.
Yeah,
So
because
it doesn't
Eric
sound like
doesn't
there's
do
going to
it
be a car
anymore.
show.
So I did have a question about that because I was also tasked
Winter
with
Guard.
reaching out to Sandy Ridge to see if the school was available. We really didn't know if we were going to use it or at all. But she, I followed up with her this morning. She forgot to copy someone that she was supposed to on her reply. So I just said, hey, I think you forgot to copy her. Send it again. So I don't know if it's available, but it sounds like it is. But one question I had for you is, one of my neighbors is in the Waxhaw Coffee Cruisers. They are like a big car show group. Do we even want to consider having a car show? Do we think that will draw people? Do we think that'll bring people to Sandy Ridge, pull in the chimneys from an annexation standpoint? Like, is it something worth looking into? Because we could in theory
I'm gonna
charge per car and earn some money towards Marvin Day, or we just don't do it at all.
I'm going to give you my personal opinion. I think it's way too much for our staff to handle.
Okay.
If we were going to do it, we need to hire
What if they
somebody
do
to
it?
Yeah, they do it. We have nothing to do with it. That's just my
Because they also raise money for charity and kids cancer and stuff. So we could say to them, like, do you want to have an event that day? Have it here. We'll help you promote it, but you do all the work.
Who's
Kind of like we did with the band.
could look into seeing who organized the one at 131 Main parking lot in Blakeney. They just had one, I think last weekend, and there were a lot of people there walking around. And they had various different kinds of cars. They
Talk
even
to
had
your friends.
motorcycles.
See what they say.
Okay.
If they might be interested in it, because I know Bob had talked to like the Ferrari group, but the Ferrari group's like they make money, and I don't want somebody there. Either the village is going to make the money,
Or
or
charity.
a charity is going to make the money.
Right.
So
us handling like registrations and like parking and all that stuff, that's way too much for us to handle. That'd be like us doing the 5K ourselves. So we don't have the staff to do it internally. If they want to do it, they can do it, and we just advertise for them. The same thing we were going to do with Marvin Ridge.
Okay. I'll look
But
into it.
that's the extent
There's
of
also a Jeep group.
UC Jeeple.
Carolina Cruising for Jeeps, something like that. I can look it up.
There's a bunch of Jeep groups,
Yeah.
but UC Jeeple's big in Union County.
Oh, okay.
But I would just say, ask your people if they're interested. See if they can do it. If they can't, I'm not sure that we need to spend a lot more time on it.
Okay, that's fine.
Somebody's here. Could somebody do
You want me to go up front? I'll deal with it. Let me handle it.
So recommendation on big band versus little
Kind of
band.
awaken.
This is a big one, so,
Pay attention.
yeah, I need y'all to make a decision on this one. So this group, I think this group had discussed the idea of big band versus little band. My group discussed it. They don't really care. So I'm going to throw it back to you all to say we need to make a decision on big band versus little band.
Like
Well,
tall people
I feel like
versus
it's
short
I was
people.
gonna say, I don't even remember
I feel
this
like
discussion.
we didn't have this
we
discussion.
did have this discussion.
We did
So-
not have this discussion.
Yeah,
This
y'all
group
said it in
did
different
not.
words. Y'all said it in different words, like having smaller local bands versus like
a number of local bands playing like 90-minute sets versus
Oh!
an artist that's going to require a whole rider and all of this
Yes,
nonsense.
I remember that discussion,
Oh,
but
so
just the way
we
she
never
phrased
did
it,
cost-
I was
She wants
thinking.
us.
I got someone that needs a permit. I'm not sure which one to give them.
They need an application. Anyway, discuss.
Yes.
Okay, well, from that reaction, the nonsense, Jill wants smaller bands.
I like the idea of. I like.
Unless we can get Imagine Dragons.
I like.
They said good.
They're
I don't like Imagine Dragons.
They're not.
They are amazing.
I have a friend who's booking them for a wedding.
Wow.
I mean, not my friend's wedding. I know a friend who's a high-end wedding coordinator, and they're getting Imagine Dragons.
Good.
for
Oh,
the
wow.
first dinner.
What is that?
I said I would serve
75? 100?
I was gonna say it's gonna be
500,000.
God.
That is high end.
ask
Oh,
them if
that's
they wanna
good.
be a
That's great on
sponsor.
the audio.
Right?
Can we go
So
to the
I
wedding?
don't even know that they're local. It may be happening in New York.
I think smaller regional with like popular followings.
So it's like
Um,
Marvin Day Palooza.
So
We kind of stack them up.
there's a
Yeah.
site called Gig Salad, and you can search for artists by area. And we have tomorrow night we're starting to do some music on the patio, and I could ask them who they picked for their and see if they're local
Mm-hmm.
and get some feedback on if they're well liked. Or,
Is this at the restaurant?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you said gig salad?
Yeah, Gig Salad has, I was just showing it to Jill, because you can search for speakers, you can search for face painters, you can search for, there's all kind of
So
stuff
it's like
on there.
Fiverr for people who perform.
And there's reviews on there. Let's see here. Like I was just showing her, there's face painters.
So are we all in agreement here that we want to go little band? Does anybody?
I
big
kind of
band?
like the little band idea because if you book just one big band, I mean, unless there's like a big draw, only the people who are interested in that are going to be like, I want to go to that. But if you have kind of a mishmash, you might draw more people, and once they're there, they stay. Just out of inertia.
I honestly, I don't care big versus little. The only thing that I request is that I know some of the damn songs.
So you want a cover band?
Yeah.
I don't want to go unless it is like,
Something you
Commodores.
can sing along to.
unless
We
it's
could
like
get a
Elton
bunch of cover
John
bands
that I
that
know
are
all
fun.
the songs to. And everybody
Yeah.
knows all the songs. I don't want a band
I think
who's
she's
playing
right,
their
like-
originals that I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
people want to sing along and have fun. And
So
Yeah.
Debs, I don't have any experience in music, period. I'm gonna be honest with you in terms of this deal. Is there, if you have experience in that, is there a way
But
you don't?
I mean, I can
Can
find
you
out
get-
who likes who.
Can you get a recommendation? I'd like to get like maybe 4 of them.
I can ask.
And Christina
yeah.
Culp is
I'm
pretty
asking
well
them
versed in
too
that.
about food trucks because
She's a
they
little
would
opinionated.
know better who's a
Okay.
good food
You know,
truck
but
and who has insurance.
She has her own band. but-
She has her own, and she knows the others, and she can tell you, who has good followings and.
So let me ask you this. So I'm just gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna make up the time. I can't remember the time off the top of my head right now. But let's just say the concert is 5 to 9. I think it's close to that. Do y'all want to have like 5 to 6, top 40s, 6 to 7,
80s.
shags? I mean, I'm making stuff
Yes.
up, obviously, but do y'all want to do something like that?
Yes.
Depends on who we could get, but that might be kind of cool.
Okay.
Top hits. Rap.
Okay.
I'm sort of imagining that
I mean, look at
scene
the
in
other.
Pitch Perfect when they're doing that
Yeah.
the riff off, and it's like they have to like pick the category,
You
like
can-
80s hip hop.
You can get a tribute band, or
Yeah, cover
Yeah.
bands would be great.
that's a little
See what-
niche.
Deb, if you can just get me some recommendations and email them to me, then I'll take that back to my committee and
Yeah.
we'll make some recommendations to you all.
And like
And I'll try to bring some samples.
like I looked for the one guy that we have to, for Thursday night, and he was on this site, and some of them have, you know, clips that you can
Yeah,
watch
absolutely.
and see.
That'd be awesome.
So I can search on all the ones that
Okay.
they've booked and send you links to listen to them. But yeah, I mean, that
I
could
just
be
wanna be
fun
able
to
to
get
sing.
different artists.
And know a couple of the songs.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll get a general like idea of 5 to 6 shag music, 7 to 8 top 40s, and come up with some ideas and let y'all see if you like it, and samples.
Okay.
Not doing shag, by the way. I just said that.
It's just
I
interesting
love
to me
beach
that
music.
came up to that, like,
I love
was at the top
beach
of your list
music.
to as an identify. I don't think that would have occurred to me.
I'm from Eastern North Carolina, where it's nothing but like beach music.
Okay.
I love beach
Cool.
music.
All right, subcommittee, big band versus little band. Okay, we're getting some stage quotes, and then we are.
Don't use the people from last year.
They might never get it put up or removed.
So the list of yard activities, it sounds like I need to talk to Jill in terms of, there was a group that y'all mentioned, I can't remember the name of it, that did
Jumpin' Jacks.
some of this
You should
pre-concert
talk
stuff.
to me because that's me.
So let's schedule a separate meeting on that.
So you signed yourself up for something, Kiak.
I already
Oh.
had it. Jill signed me up for it. It's Jill's fault.
So one of the things that my group will determine at the next meeting is the timing of fireworks, and we'll bring it back to you all. But one of the questions that we have discussed, and I don't know how y'all feel either way, is having music after the fireworks, or just doing it like we did last year, where it kind of like.
Nope, that's it.
cuts
Get
off.
out.
Okay.
Get out of the park.
Okay.
Bye. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, but the fireworks, I think, should be a little earlier.
You do,
Because we did 9:30 last year, is that right?
I think so.
I think there's not, they go at 9, and then
Well, I'll
maybe
let my-
a few more songs.
I'll let my committee know
Is
that.
it dark enough at 9 at that
Yeah.
point? 'Cause
Yeah.
we're about
Yeah,
the
it
longest
was
day of the
plenty
year at that
dark.
point.
We're also working at photo booth, so we'll have some ideas. You have a question?
No, I said good
Oh.
question.
Photo booth, we're working on that. Does your Jumpin' Jacks do that?
Probably. They do everything on here. Like they do the putt-putt course, they do the life-size Jenga and the Connect 4 and stuff. So they also offer like a package for a municipality that's doing an event like this. They're like, you can do a bundle where you save a bunch of money. So I did jot that down.
Okay, Christina and I are talking to Jumpin' Jacks now. Just don't worry about him.
So the last couple of things is food truck list. I asked my people to get a food truck list, but it sounds like maybe there's a little bit of overlap.
I would just keep our food truck people all day.
Yeah, that's
If
what
that's
we're doing
cool with you
for
guys, then
minimums.
Yeah.
okay.
So
You can
just
mark that off your list.
Have you talked to Jamie about this? Because okay.
I talked to Jamie and Hunter.
Because I'd signed them to do that. So y'all are all on the same page. Okay, as long as y'all are good, we're good.
Yes, Jen.
according to the internet, the font of all knowledge, sunset on June 3rd of 2022 was at 8:33 p.m.
Okay, so at 9 o'clock will be fine.
And you can do fireworks when it's slightly
Busty.
not,
Still might not be dark
not
enough.
100% dark. We're
Relax,
working
it'll
on
be
shuttle
fine.
groups as well.
Okay,
What'd you say?
shuttles.
We're working on that. So Derek, can you just update me when you can on the parking situation? Because I'll need that for my shuttle conversations.
Yeah, that's going to be an animal, but yes.
And then we're also not assigned cedar pony rides yet, so we're working on that.
Okay.
Mine's a little different than yours.
Is that it? See, we're way better than you are. Okay. All
We have
right.
so many things in our group.
Next up, consider adoption
lots
of,
of
I know I'm gonna do that in an
That's fine.
action item, review of action item.
This is, I want to go over this,
What is it?
the subcommittee.
You're like pointing at something, I don't know what you're pointing at.
I want to go over this for the subcommittee because I want to make sure we've got all this.
For who?
This group.
Oh, okay.
I've
So
got
can we, how about, can we go under action item
Yeah.
list on that? Okay. Okay, B, items of discussion, number 2, consider adoption of 2023 Marvin Day Planning Subcommittee meeting schedule.
Same thing as what we've been doing. We're after PRG each week. The only deviation is April 4th. That's the joint meeting. It's a joint meeting of council and the PRG board, and it would be at 9 a.m.
Okay. I'm good. Did you want a motion for this?
Yes.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve
I make a
the,
motion to approve the new Marvin Day Planning Subcommittee meeting schedule proposed 10/4/2022.
further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Next up, review of action items list.
First
One,
thing.
new action items. New action items, that would be ongoing, so new, do you have any new ones?
Yes.
Okay,
Creation of promotion schedule and present list. So by the end of this month, Jill will have a promotion list.
woohoo!
So
Good job, Jill.
At the next meeting.
So
it's-
we're talking like PR, press releases,
Yes.
the full promotional package by October 31st?
Nope, just the schedule.
Just the promotion schedule, okay.
Yeah, all I
All
need
right.
is like, hey, I want to send
This.
a flyer to
Mm-hmm.
X. So like,
On this
all you gotta
date.
do is print the same thing we did last year.
Sure, yeah, no. Due date's like 2 days after trick or treat in the park. I'm good. I got it.
If we need to change it, we can. You want me to change it? November, will that make you feel better?
And give her till
November
the end of
1st,
November.
11/1/22.
I'll give you until the end of November.
Thank you.
11:30? Okay, everybody mark your calendars. November 30th is my birthday. I'll be 45.
Y'all are gonna make me start smoking, I swear to God.
The creation of all promotional content is not due until 3/1. So we have some room
Okay,
to move around.
that's fine.
If November comes and you don't feel like you're able to meet that deadline, then we can adjust it. So don't stress.
I won't
Stop
stress.
sweating right now. I see you sweating right now.
At the very, very least, you have to have it done by March.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Communicate plans with Union County LEO, that's on me. Off-duty reserve, the
on
incident
you.
action plan creation, we'll do all that. Photographer, I've already done that.
Okay, we'll mark it off your list then.
Reserve facilities, sponsor packaging, so we have already assigned sponsor packaging to Jamie in-house. So anything to do with sponsorships that you guys run into, whether it's logo, forms, money, send it all to Jamie. Don't send it to anybody else.
Christina, can you sign a copy of this to me?
So
And if
Yeah,
you have
that's
people that want to be sponsors, you
And I
can
can
sign up
forward.
sponsors
You have
too.
to send
You
me
don't. It
that.
doesn't just have to be council.
okay.
So Jamie
Is
can
there-
send you. Yeah, there's a
Do you
form.
have a form?
Yeah, there's a
Okay,
form.
Let me take some with me.
Yeah.
'Cause I
We
won't-
can email it. Do you want it emailed or you want hard
Yeah,
copied?
both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we do that?
Yeah, I can print some off.
And then anyone that has interest, send it to Jamie.
Yep.
Okay.
Her contact
Um,
information should be on the form.
It is.
And there's an
Jill?
online form, so they can actually fill it out instead of having
On,
to.
on the
form.
website for her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
So they can fill out the paper one, or they can make my life easy and do it online.
Because I can look into, because we're sponsoring that tournament, and I can
Oh,
ask, I can
hell,
ask all
yeah.
of them that are sponsoring as well.
I
Because
need
I'm only
eventually.
doing the putting contest, so.
So let's get with Jamie because
And
we've
they
got.
live here.
Yeah,
Like,
so we've got a
Action
list of
items,
people that we've
action items,
used
yeah.
or that like sponsored us last year.
I
So
can
like,
print that
reach out
so let's
again.
well no, we're gonna do that, but I don't want you to overlap.
Yeah.
So if like
So new. you
so
want
if
me
like
to help
Thomas
them
Pest
too?
Control was there, they sponsored us last year. They're not going to be because it's Killingsworth now. But let's say they were there, and you're like, hey, do you want to? Like we've already got them. Like we're good. So I don't want you to duplicate efforts.
So new
That's all I have.
sponsors.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Alright.
All right. Any other new action items? Me and Christina are going to schedule a meeting to talk about jumping jacks, and we're going to call jumping jacks. I can't believe you didn't put that on your action
You're
item
keeping
list.
track of action items during this meeting, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
over new action items.
Are you writing those down?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Boy, you make me nervous.
We are going to move Jennifer Barbara to the AM group and ask her to reach out to her animal people. Jen is going to work on reaching out to artists and scheduling the artist layout at Village Hall.
I'll work out a plan of that, yep, and then I'll start reaching out to people and getting their thoughts.
Okay, Jill is going to make the changes on the logo form and get that out live. That's all I got.
Okay,
What did I miss? I know I missed stuff.
I'm gonna work on parking.
Derek's gonna work on parking,
5K vendor,
5K vendor.
with or without t-shirts.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Jill's gonna reach out to Waxaw Coffee Cruisers and the gardeners.
Deb's gonna work
Coffee
on.
cruise.
I'll work on new sponsors, and I'll work on getting you food truck contacts.
Cool.
And I'll work on, do you want me to ask around about artists.
Yeah.
I'll send it
Absolutely.
to you.
Absolutely. Just
And then you're gonna
Okay. I
get,
just found a cool glass one
This is
on
the
here.
only thing
It's a
that
wax
pulled
off
off that
artist.
Okay.
So.
Oh, excellent. Oh,
Yeah.
if there's a glass artist
Yeah.
that's
It's
down
like-
here, that'd be great. Because Hot Glass Alley is up in Uptown and they're amazing. But-
and then Deb, you're gonna work on getting a list of some band music people for Christina.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll,
Oh, yeah,
I'll
what
see
was
who
the
they
decision
have
on
booked.
Big band.
No,
Big
little.
one, big, little band, little
You're teasing
band.
it.
All little bands?
All little bands.
we were thinking that cover bands that we can sing along to known
Yes, I
songs.
just want to be able to participate. Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna do like, so if
There's a Dave Matthews
So-
covers band that just played here recently.
So if the music is from 5 to 9, let's just say, so from 5 to 6 we're gonna have shag music. From 6 to 7 we're gonna have beach music. From 7 to 8 we're gonna have 80s, and from 8 to 9 we're gonna have Dave Matthews. But
Not
That's what we're
necessarily those,
No, but that's what I'm
Now,
saying.
depending on what's available. But
Yeah.
You can ignore.
Don't
Do you like
pop
that?
the pin in my balloon.
no, Dave Matthews is a given. It was.
Okay.
Well, I don't. we gotta have some
Where's
country.
Kansas gonna get the kids out?
Hold on, and then
Add, tree crafted pizza truck, that red truck. Somebody just said, oh, I love that tree crafted pizza truck. Have you ever had
I've seen them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
see if they, and I'm sure they probably
Do you have
have.
listen, you should
contact
never
info for
schedule
them?
this
I
meeting.
don't.
for
They're over in
'cause this is the
Stonecrest.
big meeting. This should be
They
like
take a
two.
while to get a pizza out,
Oh,
from what I
really?
understand, yeah.
Jill, you're gonna email Deb the sponsorship information
And print a bunch.
and
off.
print a bunch, and we're gonna get the list of last year's sponsors.
Yeah, give me some printed ones
Yeah.
because when I'm out doing marketing for the restaurant, I can just be like, hey, we're looking for sponsors.
Perfect.
So,
Okay.
Did we go over this?
Not yet. Any other new action items? Nope. Okay.
There's plenty, but I think we already know what they all are.
Okay.
So just
Ongoing action item list, which I don't have because I don't have my thing,
Events.
but one of them would be the flyer. So let's go over the flyer. This is one that Jill has been working on. I love this.
So I technically made like 5 versions of a flyer, but I showed them to Kim first, and this was her favorite, hands down. So
It's in-
I just
it's in
figured,
the
let's
packet.
keep it simple. I will show it to you. If anyone hates it, speak up. That's totally fine.
Aw.
Do you
I don't
hate
love
it?
all of them.
Do you really?
This was not my favorite at all.
Are you serious?
I don't like
But it was Kim's favorite, so that's why I brought it to y'all. But
Oh
it
my
was
God,
not
this is
my
my
favorite at
favorite.
all.
All
Well,
right.
which
Your
one is
other
your
ones,
favorite?
yeah.
Can you show us that?
So,
I would like to do that for probably maybe I'll email it out as just a
Yes.
consensus item to look at
guys are
email. But I
mean.
made 5 different versions, and she just loved this one, so I was like, okay, I'll
Well, maybe
show
we
it
need
to
to
everybody.
vote.
well, no, here's my
On your
thoughts.
side.
No, nobody
I-
likes it.
I think the event list should be multiple based on location. I do not like the colors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they represent Marvin, and those round things look like donuts and they aggravate me.
Yeah, I don't get
So
that.
I was thinking of either 2 different schematics, like have partial owl here with different lists, or the owl in the middle with the various
Pull up some of
lists.
your other ones and just bring them to us.
So, and I want those pictures to be
Those pictures
actual.
weren't gonna stay. They were
Yeah.
placeholders.
There's just stock
All
photos.
right, fine.
Is this made out of advanced
You guys suck. All of you suck.
Is that on the record?
Yes.
She said the S word.
Oh, I could have said that. I mean, no, I only say the S word. Okay, whatever. I don't have our ongoing action item list because you didn't put it up appropriately.
Yeah, I'm sorry that the packet didn't work correctly. I will fix that for next time. We talked about that. We talked about that. Talked about that. Talked about that. Okay, we've talked about all this. So
Okay.
nothing new.
Dear?
Absolutely.
I like last year's flyer.
Keep it simple. That's my only
hybrid,
preference.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. Do we have anything else? Jill, do you have anything else?
No adjourn.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the Marvin Day Planning Subcommittee meeting at 12:28 p.m.
I like to second that.
All
We
in
don't need
favor?
seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Good job, everybody.
I keep
Thanks.
seconding it.
I know it's
Everybody
fine.
keeps
I know it's only Parks Rec and Greenway is the only group that you have to second it.
Well,
Planning board.
Oh, planning board you do too.
Why?
What is it?
Cause that was, cause those are, no, those are, they made those rules up.
They're in their rules of procedure. You
They can
you
change
do it.
them.
They can. They could.
That you guys should change
You
it.
know,
I
we got
mean,
meeting 2 minutes.
We'd have to second
when
that.
do you
though.
wanna meet? When do you wanna meet? Talk about jumping